Hey Vision Chasers, this is Dr. Bird here with your quote of the week for the week of July 17th, 2016. And our quote of the week comes from a very famous mountain climber, and his name is Sir Edmund Hillary. And in fact, he was one of the first few people to ever climb the tallest mountain in the world, Mount Everest. And he said this as he looked back over his life. He said, "It is not the mountain we conquer, but ourselves." You know, this quote reminds me of the many times we've come to an end of the year, and I would encourage students who did very well to consider taking an AP course. And at times, the students would accept the challenge and they would go for it and they would do fine. But then there are those few times where I would have students who would say, well, I don't know if I could do well in that course, or that's too much work. That may be too much for me. I don't think that I'll do well in that course. Well, I explained to all of those students that the second actually that they believe those thoughts that they won't do very well, then it's a done deal. Because you can't outperform your attitudes. So basically, if a person feels that they're going to fail or not do so well in the class, it's going to be very difficult for them to fight against that fear and outperform that fear and actually do well in the class when in fact they were thinking that they weren't going to do well in the class to begin with. And so the worst thing about that scenario is that we are our own worst enemy, and we actually defeat ourselves with negative thinking. Now, definitely, it takes more than positive thinking to do well in an AP or honors course. You've got to do what the teacher asks you to do. You've got to do your reading. You've got to study. You've got to be organized. You've got to plan and properly organize your materials and use your time very wisely. You have to do those things. But definitely it helps to have a positive attitude, because if you have a positive attitude, then you're able to see things clearly. You're able to understand that if you break things down into small, simple chunks, then you can get it done and you can be successful in those upper level classes. And I encourage you, if you're considering going into an AP honors course, think about it. Talk to your teachers and see how they feel about it. Perhaps you'd be very surprised to know that your teachers think very highly of you and they think that you would do well, as long as you do continue to do what your teachers ask you to do. So think about that and have a wonderful week. Bye.